What can the plant-based people eat?
Princess the Bear, today we're at EPCOT because it's time for
EPCOT Food and Wine Festival!
That World Series of Disney Foodies is back, which means so are we, to try out all the plant-based items for you, the community. So as your number one choice of the foodie infotainment, we're here to eat all the plants, so you don't have to. Because remember, she's vegan. I'm not. Our own food, then we're on wine.
It's time to foodie and chill. At some point, when does a slider no longer become a slider and is like a mini burger? This is like hand for reference here, right? Like this is very large and in charge, and yeah, I can't even wrap my whole hand around it. I feel like a slider should more slide in your mouth. This is like doing fitness. Now, while I was in line, I ran into Melissa at Vegan Disney World, and she mentioned that the vegan cheese is actually cooked in the patty this year, so that's kind of cool. I'm excited to try. You can kind of see it actually from the outside. I feel like I just ate like a plate of bolognese. Like the jam is just giving me like a tomato vibes, and then you've got the meat, the cheese. I can't really taste the cheese that much. I think because of the jam. They put so much jam on this one. I think you could use more sauce, and I would probably take like extra cheese, but it's pretty good. I like it. It's definitely going to be like the thing that I order the most, I think, this festival, even though it's the first thing on the list. I would give it a 4.75 out of 5 sliders. It's delicious.
We have come to so many of these festivals over the years and seen many different plant-based sliders come and go, but it's been interesting to see these plant-based sliders evolve as EPCOT has evolved. Before you just get a simple impossible slider with some slaw. Now they're doing mix-ins with cheese. That is a glorious evolution, worthy of the city, experimental prototype city of tomorrow. Yeah. I think this is the debutante, the Miss Universe of plant-based sliders, because that is absolutely amazing. What they've done with that patty now, it's not just like a super dense piece of plant-based meat. The cheese that's in the middle really makes a difference to the consistency and how juicy and flavorful the burger is. And I think that sort of helps, since you also have the jam on top to sort of like balance out the flavors, and that's immaculate. Like, that deserves a place in a restaurant, not just a festival. That is probably the best this has ever been. And if this is a picture of things to come, we are in for a good festival. I would give this a 5 out of 5 claws. I would give up steak for this, but I don't like steak, so I'm kind of cheating.
I would very much like to know why there are no Adobo Yuca fries seasonally around EPCOT, or just Yuca fries in general. I would say maybe even like, why not Refreshment port? They do poutine. Why not Yuca also? That seems like a miss. Only having Yuca during festival of the Food and Wine Festival seems kind of sad. We love this with the vegan aioli. It's looking gorge. We actually got extra sauce so we could dip more sauce because they are willing to accommodate the sauce. Let me just do a little bit more of a dippy dip. I would say get the extra sauce because, yes, it's a Yuca fry, but with that vegan aioli, the garlic just hits so hard. It feels like you're eating a clove, and I am obsessed. I would give that a 4.75 out of 5 Adobo Yuca fries. Now that we've had them this way, I don't think I'll ever be able to go back. The little drizzle is just not enough.
The Yuca return. Now, we are big fans of the Yuca fry on this channel. We often visit. Spyglass Grill at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort to get our Yuca fix there, because they do happen to be the pirate kings of Yuca across this resort. But we love getting them when we can here at EPCOT. Crispy, garlicky, delicious. I'm going to do it princess style, just this one time.
Hey.
Get more sauce. It is a good aioli. That does match well with the Yuca. Very garlicky, got a punch. I like it. Is it just fries and sauce? Yes, but it's a good sauce. So it's something. 3.5 out of 5 claws.
Hello, sea salt and vinegar fries. These ones are the only one in the fry flight that are vegan as is. No modifications required. But of course, you can modify to be vegan, which is what we're doing. Cheers. I love sea salt and vinegar. It's one of my favorite chips. Like, if I get a sandwich or like a pub sub or something like that, I always usually put sea salt and vinegar chips in there. This is like a super subtle sea salt and vinegar chip, like what you get at like Baseline Tap House, not necessarily like a cuddle cooked chip at the grocery store. So keep that in mind if you're interested in salt and vinegar like me. Like, don't expect it to go hard on the salt or the vinegar. It's just super mild. And I'm not mad at it, but also like if I'm in the mood for, like if I want sea salt and vinegar, I want it to like dehydrate my mouth. Like so salty and so vinegary that's just like Warhead level. This is not there. It's not even close to there. So 2 out of 5 fry. It's nice, but it's not my fave.
Fry Basket has given us again a flight of fries. That's how I'm going to say it correctly from now, because fry. I'm routinely going to mess this up. I don't know if it's a fry flight or a fry. It's a fright. It's a flight of fries. But either way, I know that this is like a lot of people's aesthetic choice for the festival every year. This is one of the most BS offerings of a festival item. I get it. The entire booth is called the Fry Basket, but I'm not feeling very baskety. Even with just like a little bit of toppings, it's basically just 3 bowls of fries. They're not even basket. They're in like sleeves. I'm getting more vinegar than sea salt. I don't know how I feel about that. Vinegar is a strong flavor on its own. It needs the salt for balance. And these don't feel balanced. I give it 2.5 out of 5 plus.
This is the truffle fry. So no Parmesan on it or anything, just a truffle salt. The truffle salt is so light, it almost just tastes like a regular fry. Probably my least favorite this year. Not into it. I would give it a 2 out of 5 fry.
Now, truffle fries, you have my attention as long as you don't go overboard. Because if you go overboard, I will throw you overboard. The right amount of crisp and the right amount of truffle. It's truffle light. Anything other than that would be like dragging my face through a forest of mushrooms. And that's not what I want. I would give that 3 out of 5 plus.
The modified sweet potato casserole fry is always sweet. It's covered in sugar, and that's pretty much all you get on it. I don't know. I've never really been into these any year. I'm not usually like a sweet potato person. That's not usually my thing. If I have to choose between potato and sweet potato is my last choice. I'm not Southern. It's not my thing. And if I was going to do a fry flight, I wouldn't really want sweet potato on my flight. But in this fry flight, I think that the sweet potato is probably the best entry of the three. And though I was hoping it would be salt and vinegar, I just think the sweetness with the sugar of the sweet potato is like the perfect little ending to this mediocre flight at best. I think Disney should do something different with this fry flight. It's been the same for like, gosh, at least 3 or 4 years at this point. What they said. I would give it a 2.5 out of 5 fries. It's like a C if we were going to school.
Sweet potato fries are basically a dessert. We're through without the toppings. Sugary sweet, sort of like a sweet potato cinnamon roll, almost. 3.75 out of 5 fries.
These Impossible tenders are not looking as wet as they have in previous years. It makes me a little bit sad. Now, if you have an aversion to spice or anything, unfortunately, they are not able to switch out any of the sauces on this. So if you wanted to try one of the other sauces with the tendies, it's not possible. But I'm going to take a bite of it. I do very much like these tendies because they started it all. But having had the same exact blue cheese at Cinderella's Royal Table on their salad, I really have yet to find anything that tastes better than that. And literally, this makes me just want to go back to Cinderella's Royal Table. I know Bear won't let me because it's too expensive. But if I could, I would castle salad up these tendies. On their own, I will give them a 2.5 out of 5 tendies. There's really nothing special about them at this point. I would say if you've never had them before, you would probably enjoy them. If you have an aversion to spice, do not order them. I do feel a little bit sweaty eating them. And if you want an alternative to try this delicious blue cheese, go to Cinderella's Royal Table. If you want the feta, go to breakfast at Whispering Canyon Cafe. That's all I have to say about that.
The Impossible tendies returning to... It's kind of hard to say that to retain their crown because they haven't really had any competition. The flavor and accoutrements have remained mostly the same. I feel like for a lab, there should be more sauces. You should be able to switch it up. I understand, obviously, we're in like a high volume, efficiency-minded environment, but we want other wing flavors. Buffalo is like one of the most boring wing flavors there is. Fight me about that in the comments. Captures the funk. It captures the everyday palate level of heat that I've come to associate with buffalo. And buffalo's sort of like, we kind of have flavor, we kind of don't. I feel like this is one of the dishes, vegan dishes, over the course of Food and Wine, that either gets better or worse as the festival goes on. This is not a good starting point. It's okay. But we've had better at other festivals of this same item. So 3 out of 5 claws. It's still a plant-based item, but I just feel like since we've had them before, they're just not hitting like they used to.
Samosa! We get these every year. They have these at Sanaa as well, and I just love them. I love how crunchy, crispy they are. I love the toppings. The only question is, on what end do you eat the samosa? Tell me in the comments. It does have some heat to it. I would say like a 4 out of 10 on the heat scale. It's like something I can get at Sanaa any time of year. And the thing I love the most about Sanaa is that they give you that tamarind sauce. I think that's way better than this chimichurri. And then having had that incredible garlic chimichurri at Beacon Barrel, I really can't go back from that. It has this beautiful chimichurri but no garlic. It needs that. I would give this a 4 out of 5 samosa. It's nice.
On the hill and the mountain that is samosas, India is king. We accept no substitutes. That's why every year we cannot resist coming here to get these, even if we weren't doing the vegan video for this festival, the princess would still be stopping by for samosa or 2 or maybe even 3 by the time this festival is over with. But that's nice, thick filling, the chimichurri, crispy outside. That's got a degree of spice to it. I'm thinking like a 4 out of 10 on the heat scale. The India spice is always a spice I know I'm going to feel. That's the one place that makes my tolerance for spice feel like nothing. But it's a heat that comes with flavor, which is always what I'm focused in on. I think the biggest difference, especially for me here in India, is that when I get the samosas here, I can just eat them. If I go to Sanaa, they got to put the mango chutney on the side. But it's still a picture perfect samosa example, and you cannot go wrong, at least with this. I give it a 4 out of 5 claws.
Hot dog. I've been putting this one off because I am dying sweat and I don't really want something that is peri season when I'm already like pouring down sweat and pulling out my hair with my hand fan. So I don't know, just trying to get this is not looking tasty, and it doesn't look like it's cooked very well, so it doesn't really make me very excited. Plus it looks like it's mostly bread than anything else, which also doesn't make me very excited. So with the force is with me. Well, it's not as spicy as I expected it to be. I would say it's like maybe a 1.5 or 2 out of 10 on the heat scale. It actually kind of tastes a bit like the Montreal burger to me. Something about just the way the tomato jam is giving me the same vibes as that one. Of course, that one that I got was like very tomato jam forward, so I kind of feel like this one is just resting on its sauce. Not into it. But it is better than I anticipated it to be, so I probably shouldn't have put it off, but I'm not vibing on it. I would probably give it like a 2.5 out of 5 sausage dogs. I think if you're in the mood for a hot dog, like sure, go ahead and grab it. Maybe get a plain one if you're not into the spiciness, but not my favorite dog that has been offered at Refreshment Outpost, that's for sure.
You know, sometimes I feel like we get interesting items here at other festivals. In Food and Wine, it's like you will take your Impossible sausage dog and whatever we decide to throw on top of it, and you will like it. Or else. Because we're not giving you anything else. I like the bread. The Impossible sausage itself is a little bit undercooked. For as often as they have these here, I would expect it to be like immaculately cooked. The peppers and the sauce are just kind of meh to me. I don't miss the days of like the coffee barbecues at other festivals, but like this one isn't really making me sing its praises either. It's here, it's available. Definitely the worst thing you can get, but definitely ain't gonna tell you to run here. That's right, I said ain't gonna tell you to run here just for this either. I'll give it 2.75 out of 5 claws.
A trio of pan con tomate from the Spain Pavilion. This is the only thing on the trio that is vegan, but you can just get all 3 pieces pan con tomate, and hello, little vegan treat. It's like jaleo, but at EPCOT. So, that was tasty. I did put a little bit too much in my mouth, so there's that, but I love it. It's somewhere in between Toledo and jaleo. Like it has Toledo bread, but like the jaleo topping. And then there's like something extra on there. Maybe the type of oil they use is just a little bit different. I'm not mad at it. I also appreciate the fact that there's like whole pieces of salt flakes on it, because I think pan con tomate is not pan con tomate without a little bit of salt flake, a little salt bay action. I would give it a 4 out of 5 pan con tomates. I would say if you're in the mood for like a nice little breaded snack, why not? Just ask for pan con tomate.
pan con tomate because the trio of pintos, I guess it's still a trio as long as there's 3 of the item. We have 3 items. It's still a trio. It is looking beautiful. It's giving me jaleo and Toledo vibes, but will the quality hold up? That's kind of the question. Pan con tomate at its core is really just like tomato salsa with a little bit of garlic and salt, but it's just tomato. But the execution of what pan con tomate is, it's really what matters. The biggest difference between this and, say, a Toledo and jaleo is the quality of the bread. Jaleo's is the best because their bread is immaculate. They import the water to make that bread from Spain. Toledo does a nice, like, toasted bread that's like rustic artisanal. This is okay. It's not a bad bread. It's just not as good as those 2 breads. But if you need like a starter taste of how good pan con tomate can be, or pan con tomate can be, then this isn't going to offend anybody. I would give this a solid 3 out of 5 stars.
The plant-based bun is still here. Now that does make me a little bit worried for Flower and Garden next year, but also very excited that it's still here. And why not include it during Food and Wine when it was a Flower and Garden festival item that's still here. Always as wonderful as I remember. If it's here, highly recommend getting it. Even if Katsura Grill looks really busy, the line goes really quick, so just do it. Enjoy it, love it, 5 out of 5, Princess City's item. Always order this when you can.
We always love a piping hot bun when we can get one. I maintain that we need a bun booth here in the Japan Pavilion. I thought that once they closed the little stands downstairs that you get those. Instead, we got a bunch of gacha machines. But one day, maybe. These are literally one of my favorite snacks. Especially when I lived overseas, but I lived out in the Pacific for 6 or so years. This would be lunch. I just have one of these for lunch and I'd be set. Love it. Even the plant-based ones. So I would give that a 4.25 out of 5 stars.
Our friend the moussaka has returned. I have not usually really been a big fan of this. Ooh. But it is looking mighty. That is a lot of impossible right there. They just like chocked it full. It does taste very similar to the ones of the past. I do think it's a little bit more flavorful. The thickness of it is really nice, juicy, beautiful. I love the eggplant, which is weird for me because usually it's a little too slimy, but this one is cooked a lot better than before, so I'm into it. I would give it a 4 out of 5 moussakas. It's definitely improved over previous years. And it's very cinnamony too. Or is that nutmeg? Maybe it's nutmeg.
The moussaka return of this impossible mashed potato eggplant dish. This is more like a Greek shepherd's pie than anything, but we're all here for it. For such a small pie, it packs a definite punch. The impossible meat is seasoned well to the dish, and those like hints of garlic and like earthly flavors in there that sort of just work well. If you don't mind the eggplant, which does have like a different consistency, obviously the impossible meat, it is a tasty, warm dish. I think this actually gets away with a lot because usually something this thick and dense would be piping hot and hard to eat. But honestly, it's quite tasty and could be like a good small lunch for the day. I would give this 3.75 out of 5 plus.
This is the falafel wrap. This is the only vegan option here at the Morocco Pavilion. They won't swap the bread for you to get the dips. They just want everybody else to get the dips. On the inside, it's still 3 beautiful pieces of falafel with sauce and all the other fixins. I love the way they wrap this. It's supposed to be like a grab and go type thing, but it's not evenly rolled, I feel. And of course, me unrolling it doesn't help either. Cheers. The falafel is really dense, but not too dense. It's really the star of the dish, which I guess is what you want it to be. They used to have like the pita version where they put the falafel in there with like some shredded lettuce and tomato and whatnot. And I kind of liked that a little bit more. I feel like the ratio between filling falafel and bread is just off. It's like 80% falafel and then the rest is everything else. And it's like, would you like a wrap with your falafel type thing? And I don't know. I wish there was more to it. Like I said, like some lettuce would be nice. Other than that, it's pretty nicely seasoned. So I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 wraps. I don't think I'll order it again though. And the old like pita ones, I would order like those every single time.
We've seen so many variations of basically the same thing here in Morocco, going from the pita pockets to the skewers. Now we get a legit wrap with I at least give them the falafels are still massive, but they are incredibly hard to eat without spilling this all over yourself. I would recommend keeping your thumb or finger on the bottom. It's almost like a falafel push pop, the way that it wants to like either slide one way or the other. Quite tasty. I like the tabbouleh-ish filling inside, and the falafel is cooked well. It's not greasy. It's got the nice crust that you expect. Chickpea flavors on the inside. It's a nice little wrap. Honestly, if they had this year-round as a grab-and-go item, I probably wouldn't mind it. It's light and it's flavorful. I feel like I could use a little bit more sauce. It's on the teetering edge of being like too many dry ingredients, but it's still pretty good. I would give it a 3.75 out of 5 claws.
The newest vegan dessert, the Shimmering Sips Parfait. Never met a parfait I didn't like, but also in the rain, it's 4th time today that it's rained, with this tiny glass. Shimmering Sips, you are not doing me any favors right now. It tastes like a Fig Newton. And I haven't really had very many Fig Newtons in my life. They weren't really an approved dessert in my childhood, but of what I remember of the couple of times I've had Fig Newtons, is kind of what it tastes like. Not a fan personally, just because I wasn't raised on them, so it's just not my thing. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5 Fig Newtons. I think if you like a strawberry Fig Newton, you'll love this.
This strawberry champagne parfait, I must have misread this thing at least 6 times we were ordering it. I'm at the booth looking for strawberry champagne and couldn't find it. I only saw mimosas. Very confused, but again, I am a bear who sometimes reads quicker than he thinks, or maybe it's the reverse. Either way, we like a good parfait. Gotta get all the way to the bottom though, get some of this, love a good Florida rain shower. It's actually rather well balanced. I was worried with the layers, like it being too little of some and more of others, but honestly with the strength of the flavor of this bottom with the yogurt and then the like cereal granola mix on top, it's actually quite tasty. I think this is probably one of my favorite desserts so far. It's light, doesn't feel completely terrible for me, and it's tasty. I give that 4.25 out of 5 claws.
But do you get Fig Newton?
I don't really get Fig Newton, but I can see like with the jammy filling where we get fig, it's got that like jammy consistency, but it's a lot softer. The fig is like, Fig Newton's the interior is hard. It's not really jammy. I wish it was. Maybe somebody should do that.
have Impossible chili here with a bread bowl. Bear is asking me if it reminds me of Disneyland. I'm gonna say no because I never got to have chili at Disneyland. It was always like a vegetable gumbo. There is so much in this. I don't even know how you could eat this and then eat other things in a day. I'm so thankful that Bear and I spread this out over multiple days because I don't know what I would do. This is already a huge bite. I committed this mistake though, so cheers to having a piece of Disneyland. Things that I like about this chili. The sourdough bread bowl. It's super cute, and you don't usually get something like that here, so I really appreciate that. But I wish that they did this during Festival of the Holidays. What I don't like is how much cumin they put in the chili. It is very cumin forward, and I'm just not into that. I love the cheese. I love the sour cream. I just don't know if I'm particularly into this cook of chili. I think it will vary from day to day because they make it every day, but this one is it's got a little bit too much cumin for me. And I brought pocket parm, but I don't think that would save it in this scenario. It's just like, would you like some chili with your cumin? I would give it a 2.5 out of 5 chilies, but I see the potential in it, so I could see how it could be like a 4 or 4.5 if executed properly. The bread is a 4.5, so there's that.
This is a massive portion of plant-based chili, and chili period, I gotta argue, like, what is the ratio, I think, of like the proper chili wetness? Do you just want like chunks of meat with seasoning, or do you want like actual chili, like almost stew level? Because I feel like that's a very delicate balance. And this one feels more like a pile of plant-based beef than chili to me. But let's see how it tastes. I will say with the amount of cumin in there, this feels more like sloppy Joe than cumin, or chili. It is very cumin forward. Now the Impossible beef is well seasoned, the cheese and the sour cream mix as well. But I feel like because the chili itself is so on the dry side, it's going to be very hard to eat this whole thing with the bowl. It's going to be crunching through mostly sourdough and dry-ish beef. It's moist, but I don't feel like it's moist enough to be considered chili. I would give it 3.25 out of 5 claws. I think it's one to watch. It has potential. As is right now, it could use some execution tweaking.
I think this is one of the most challenging food and wines that Bear and I have ever done since we started this channel. We've had so many hiccups and snags through this entire adventure. And now we've made it to the Brussels sprouts, which is one of the last items that we are trying here, even though you're watching them in festival passport order. It's been a journey, and it has been a very uncomfortable journey, and I hope that I get some tasty Brussels sprouts out of it in the end, because I don't know if this has necessarily been worth all of the stress, blood, sweat, tears, and backstabbing. Right. And there's only one Brussels sprout in here. How am I supposed to even eat that? I guess I'm not eating a Brussels sprout if it's just the one. I really do not like the way that this is seasoned. I think it's a little too on the herb side. Definitely not enough Brussels sprouts either. The veggies it comes with aren't terrible, but I don't know. They're also kind of al dente. And then I think there's like some kale pieces in here. I don't know. This is just, I'm just not vibing on this at all, really. Maybe it would be better on another day, but today it's giving me like 2 out of 5 Brussels sprouts. I was really looking forward to some tasty Brussels sprouts, and these are just not them.
Calling something Brussels sprouts, and mind you, there's Brussels sprouts and things, but a single Brussels sprout is not Brussels sprouts. That's giving hark back to like the scallops that used to be over by Test Track festivals and festivals ago. This is Brussels sprout, not Brussels sprouts. But you got some kale and some other earthy goodness in here. Some sweet potato. Just get a sporkful. This feels like somebody's mixed green side salad, just a little warmer. I like the toasted flavor of it. The nuts work, but honestly, It needs more Brussels sprouts. It feels like the Brussels sprouts are garnish and not a part of the dish. I would give it 2 out of 5 claws. We have veganed and winded it.
Yes, we have spent so many days here with the heat, with my struggles, with his struggles, the rain, the things opening, closing, so many variables. When it's just us working on this, it's so hard.
Yes.
But we did it.
We did. We went through all the items. I'm glad we get some extra things for the princess. We were able to modify a couple things here and there. But I still feel like they're leaning too much on what they've had before and not enough new.
So what do you think was your favorite thing?
My favorite thing
Yeah.
was probably the strawberry champagne trifle.
Really?
Yes.
Mine was probably the chili. Even though I didn't really like it at first, I ended up killing it. And then I would also say that I really like the bread in the falafel wrap. I wish it would have just given me that with the dips because I liked the bread more than anything, and I ended up eating that on its own.
All right. Well, we know what you guys think. Given what you've seen, are you satisfied with the options available at the festival this year? Let us know in the comments below. As always, if there's anything else you to see us do, that will always be the place to find us. Hit that notification bell if you want to see other videos like this, and
we have new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
we'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, Barry might just yeet himself out of EPCOT, and then will we ever come back?
You heard the girl.